Fab Four has his...
You are a member of a band.
It's a Beatles tribute show. I did 8 performances when I was handed a check for only 3 performances.
So, why can't they let it be?
I paid him a total of $2,300 to talk about his credibility.
How was he performing unprofessionally?
He was missing chords. He was very lackluster.
Will this groupie's bombshell testimony make Judge Karen twist and shout?
How long were you girlfriend and boyfriend?
Since I was 16.
So he was over 50 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're looking for sympathy, you need to look in the dictionary.
Yeah,
You're
no,
not
that's
going to find it here. You've been having an affair with a 16-year-old girl and you're a grown man. You guys have really taken this Beatles thing too far.
All judges are created equal, right?
I don't think so.
She's tough.
God protects babies and fools.
Fair.
You're both to blame, and you're both gonna pay.
She cares.
Stop looking for a man to validate who you are. Justice isn't always black and white.
James Poe is suing his former band manager for refusing to pay him for 5 performances as George Harrison and the Beatles Forever. Gary Ballen says he paid James what he deserved, and then some. He says James is only suing because he's sore he got kicked out of the band due to poor performances.
This is case number 045 in the matter of Poe versus Ballen. All parties have been sworn in, Judge.
Thank you. All right, good morning, Mr. Poe. You brought a lawsuit against Mr. Ballen, your producer, for his failure to pay you for 5 performances.
That's correct, Your Honor.
You are a member of a band.
Well, I was a member of the band, yes.
What's the name of the band?
The band was called Fab Forever, originally.
Okay.
I have a contract where I came to Las Vegas from Nashville, Tennessee, to perform in this show.
Mr. Ballen is the producer?
I took over the production after the original producer that he had the contract with bailed out.
Okay. And how long had you been performing in this band?
The show opened up November 14th, and
Of what year?
Of 2007.
So you started performing with this band in 2007?
Yes, but Mr. Ballen was not involved at that point.
Okay.
And then on January 15th, that's when I was handed a check by Mr. Ballen for only 3 performances out of the 8 performances. That's why I'm owed for 5 performances.
What type of band is this?
It's a Beatles tribute show.
Right, so you play the Beatles.
I've been playing the part of George Harrison for 30 years now. I was with the Broadway show Beatlemania back in 1978.
Okay.
So I was hired by the former producer and manager to come to Las Vegas, and I was being paid $2,000 a week. Gary Ballen took over, fired the producer and manager, and he asked me to take a cut in pay to $1,750 a week.
Is that true? You asked him to take a cut?
Well, first of all, I didn't fire the...
I don't care if he got fired. The bottom line is you got in the position where you're supposed to pay this man.
Yes.
And did you pay him $2,000?
No.
What did you pay him?
I paid him a total of $2,300.
No, that's not true, Your Honor. I got a check for $1,000 after he took over. He kept saying he was going to drop new contracts and that I was going to get some money soon. And every day it was, and I haven't got any money yet, haven't got the contracts yet. And then he asked me to go from $1,750 to $1,500 a week. And as of January 2nd until January 15th, I did 8 performances. When he finally let me go, he suspended me supposedly for a week, handed me a check for $1,000. I said, what about the rest of the money? He says, the other guy owes you. And
okay, let me ask him. You said you paid him $2,300.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a check?
Yes, I have
Let
3.
me see a check. That looks like January the 15th of this year, you paid him $1,000.
Yes, that was his last show.
Okay, but let me see that first check. I'm still waiting for $2,300.
Well, there's the second one,
Oh,
January
you're
4th.
telling me in total you paid him $2,300.
For those 8 shows, total, I paid him $2,300.
And your position is that for those 8 shows, he only paid you $1,000. Is that right?
That's right, and that's...
Well, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Poe, why does he have checks totaling $2,300 to you?
That's a good question, Your Honor. I mean, one says Jimmy P.O.O., Jimmy Pooh.
Okay, let me see.
I just saw it, and...
These are both, he's cashed both of these, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see here.
his signature.
Zoom in on here. Zoom in on that signature.
Yes, ma'am. January 4th,
Is that your signature here? Right here? Is that your signature?
That's my, that, it looks like my signature. Like I said, I only got one check for $1,000.
Okay, let me see that. That says $1,000.
Okay, that's 1,000. Here's the other.
January 15th. Is that your signature right here?
Yes, Your Honor. I did not, I only, from the day he took over.
Wait a minute, no. Within a week's time, this man paid you, what he's showing me is $2,000. And you say that's your signature?
Well, I mean, maybe they're forgeries or something.
Okay, let me see the original. Do you have some, do you have official government ID on you?
Official government ID?
Driver's license, something
Yes.
with your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me see.
Because like I said, after he took over on January 2nd, all he kept promising me is that I'll get paid soon, and then finally I got paid only $1,000 and I was suspended for a week.
This looks to me like your signature on both of these checks.
When Judge Karen returns.
Do you know the plaintiff here, Mr. Pope?
Yes, he was my ex
How long were you girlfriend and boyfriend?
since I was 16.
So he was over 50 years old and you were 16.
Yes, ma'am. He told me when I was 16 that he loved me and we did incorrect things. And I have proof of that.
James Poe, who portrays George Harrison in a Beatles tribute band, is suing his former band manager, Gary Ballen, for 5 unpaid performances.
So now this comes down to a credibility issue because this man is saying he paid you and you have wasted his time and it's definitely wasted the court's time. And you're saying you haven't. Yes, sir.
I have 2 witnesses to talk about his credibility, Your Honor. Just
Bring
so
him
you
in.
know.
Yeah, I need to hear some credibility. Who are the witnesses that you have?
I have the Paul McCartney in the group, Todd,
Paul is in the house?
and I have the woman that came between the 2 of them that really made me fire him, Talia.
Talia. Let's talk to Talia first. What's Talia's name?
Goodwin.
The court calls Talia Goodwin.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, I do.
Have a seat here. Okay, Ms. Goodwin, do you know the plaintiff here, Mr. Poe?
Yes.
And what's your relationship to Mr. Poe?
He was my ex.
Your ex-boyfriend? Okay, and how long were you girlfriend and boyfriend?
Since I was 16.
How old is he?
56. I'm 21 now. It was about that would be about 5 years ago.
Okay, so he was over 50 years old and you were 16.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, that'd be a whole nother show about how
Yes.
y'all met and how y'all got together, and he might be carted out of here in handcuffs.
Yeah.
But we're not going there. All right, so you met him when you were 16. Well, where did you meet him?
I went and saw the Beatles show that he was in. I started seeing the show when I was 14, but we got together when I was 16. So
All right, and what happened in Las Vegas?
basically, there was a lot of tension in between the band.
Was there any tension between you and the plaintiff?
Yes. Basically, he was making assumptions that something was going on between me and another bandmate at that time.
Which one of the Beatles?
The Paul McCartney, Todd Rainey.
Okay, so he thought you were seeing Paul.
He thought I was seeing him behind his back, which was completely untrue.
Right, are you seeing him now?
I'm seeing him now, yes.
Okay. Okay. So you like old band members?
Yeah, I don't care if they're in a band or not. I'm in love with him, yes.
Okay, well, you told this man here you were in love with him too.
He told me when I was 16 that he loved me and we did incorrect things. And I have proof of that, but that's a different case.
So you were called here as a witness, a character witness, to talk to me about his credibility. Did you know about any trouble that James was making?
Yes.
What kind of, what do you know about that?
He was just basically not being a part of the team. He was always complaining. He was always saying that there was, that he was not getting paid when everybody else was having no problems.
Let me ask you this question. In all the years that you've known him, have you ever known him to be a liar?
Yes.
What,
Yes.
What have you known him to lie about?
Well, personal things. I I've caught him doing things before.
What about outside of your relationship?
Outside, well, I just know by experience of knowing him, he likes to tell people what they want to hear. He always makes it sound like he's a victim of everything.
Are you familiar with his signature?
I've seen him sign things.
If I show you, let me have those checks. I'm going to mark these as Court's Exhibit 1, composite. And I'm going to show you, well, actually, will you show the witness, please? What's been marked as Court's Exhibit 1.
Okay.
And ask you to take a look at those items. First of all, have you ever seen either of those items before?
I have not.
All right, I asked you to take a look at the signatures.
Mm-hmm. That's his.
Okay, on both items.
Mm-hmm.
You certain that that's his signature?
That's his signature.
Okay. I don't really have any other questions for her. She's your witness. The law says because you're calling her as a witness, you have an opportunity to ask her questions. Do you have any questions?
Not really. She said enough.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can step down here, please. Let me hear from this next witness.
Sure.
Okay, who's this next witness?
Todd Rainey,
Todd Rainey.
who played the Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney's here. Todd Rainey, please.
The court calls Todd Rainey.
Come forward and be sworn, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You can have a seat here. Okay, do you know George here?
Yes, I do.
Now, prior to the defendant taking over the show, difficulties between you and the plaintiff?
Yes, it was growing. It was just his demeanor, his being very abrasive with the rest of the, it's not just myself, but with the rest of the players in the show.
Okay, did you ever have any problems with this defendant not paying you?
Not at all.
Did there come a point in time when you all agreed to take less money than you had been getting?
Absolutely.
To your knowledge, does this defendant owe this plaintiff any money?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, he paid him more than what was due to him.
What do you mean he paid him more?
Well, he was, he gave him, we only had like 4 or 5 shows one week, I believe, something like that. But he paid him in excess of agreement of like $1,500.
When Judge Karen continues.
I brought some video also.
Is it of his bad performance or good performance?
Bad performance.
Oh.
It was the day that I had to fire him.
I performed the show, and I broke character and said, I'm going to dedicate the next 2 songs to my father who passed away.
If you're looking for sympathy, you need to look in the dictionary.
No,
You're not
that's
going to
fine.
find it here. You've been having an affair with a 16-year-old girl, and you're a grown man. You guys have really taken this Beatles thing too far. Let me see the video.
James Poe is suing his former band manager, Gary Ballen, for refusing to pay him for 5 of his performances in the Beatles tribute show Fab Forever. Todd Rainey, who portrays Paul McCartney in the band, is Gary's witness.
He's your witness. Any questions?
With Mr. Poe, the reason that we had to let him go was he was affecting the show. I mean, that was part of it.
You have to ask him a question.
Oh,
Because you're telling him to
okay.
ask.
All right. Well,
Hey, why did you have to let him go?
His performance was, it was very unprofessional. It was affecting art.
How was he performing unprofessionally?
Well, his, being the lead guitarist, that's got to be out there. I mean, it was just, he was missing guitar licks, he was missing chords, he was turning around on stage, he was, it was just very lackluster.
and Your Honor,
Yes.
it wasn't just I that
Wait a
fired him.
second.
Yes.
Do you have any other questions for this witness?
Not really.
Do you have any questions in cross-examination of this witness?
Yes, I do. From November 14th till January 15th, did I get up on stage every single night with you and sing in the same microphone, me knowing that you had slept with her already? I'm not sure of the date, but did I not for 2 months get up on stage every single night professionally and sing in the same microphone with you, laughing and being the Beatles on stage with you? Professionally, no. It affected your performance completely. He's talking about
Excuse
one.
me. What affected his performance?
No, after we had an agreement.
You said it affected your performance. What was the it that affected the performance?
That, that we found out that we didn't indeed sleep together.
So the answer to this question was yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? You can step down. And you can wait outside, please.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I brought some video also too, if you wanted to see
Okay.
it.
The video that you brought me, is it of his bad performance or a good performance?
Bad performance.
Oh.
And it was the day that I had to fire. That was
Okay.
the day.
Okay.
It's
Let me see the
irrelevant.
video. I can't put the audio because we didn't get authorization
Yeah.
from the Beatles Corporation or whoever we need it from, so I can only see it. So let me see it.
So you see him, he's the one kneeling down here while the rest of the group is performing.
I was having trouble.
Here he almost fell
One
over.
second.
After this show happened, the other three guys and myself all agreed that this was it. We couldn't go on anymore with him. In Las Vegas, you're as good as your last show, and
You have a video for me?
Well, it's just me performing normally on stage, but what he just said was that it was a unanimous decision for the guys. For 2 months, I got up on stage every single night that we had a performance and performed. One time that I had to do that was in 1995 when my father died. I had a performance that night, and I was going to cancel it. My family said, no, go on stage. I performed the show, and in the middle of the show, I broke character and said, I'm going to dedicate the next 2 songs to my father who passed away. That's the first time that the audience found out about that.
If you're looking for sympathy, you need to look in the dictionary.
No,
You're
no,
not
that's
going to
fine.
find it here.
But
You've been having an affair with a 16-year-old girl and you're a grown man, okay? I do not feel sorry for you. You could find a grown woman to play with, but you decide that you want to play with children. I don't have any sympathy for you, okay? You guys have really taken this Beatles thing too far.
When we come back, Judge Karen will render her verdict. Judge Karen is about to render her verdict.
I am looking at 2 checks that appear to me to be your signature.
yeah,
I have uncontroverted testimony from your band member, even though he slept with your girl, that you got paid for your last performance more than they even got paid, which he said was about $1,500.
well, it's not true. I only got
So I am accepting the defendant's representation that he paid you $2,300 in January after you performed. And so my judgment is for the defendant and your case is dismissed. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen will continue in a moment.